Good evening, and thanks for starting off your week with us here at Your News Today on this Monday, the 18th. Technically on the downhill side of April. Not so much temperatures. High pressure will keep temperatures continually high again tomorrow. Into the 80s will go. There are some showers, maybe a few storms, some clouds, and some cooler temperatures later on down the line in your forecast. But still, we've got a nice way to go for much, if not most, all of your forecast. More on that in just a few moments. A very proud day for McGoffin County man and his family, who has supported him every step of the way. And man, there's been a lot of them, and there were a lot of them today. We'll take you to the Boston Marathon in just a few moments. I spoke with State Representative John Short a few moments ago briefly about the budget, but specifically about the Veterans Health Care Facility and the efforts to see one brought to Eastern Kentucky and McGoffin County. Good news, bad news in that, and kind of a hard time putting a number or percentage on either one at this point, but I'll let him tell you the most recent happenings over the course of the weekend, what's happened within the legislature, and a discussion between himself and the governor of Kentucky, and other news and information to all be a part of and get in before I leave you for the evening. City Council of Sagersville meets tonight. We'll have that coverage and a whole lot of other news already in the works for the rest of this week. Before we get to local headlines, just a few other reports. And there have been a couple of accidents already involving fatalities. I do mean involving lawnmowers across parts of Kentucky. Today, another accident. This one turned out to be fatal, involving trimming trees. It was actually an employee with the Asplin Company who died as a result of being electrocuted. All I know at this hour is that Kentucky State Police from Post 13 say they were called to the scene to investigate the death. The identity of the victim has not been released as of airtime. We do know that his body was sent to the State Medical Examiner's office in Frankfort. It happened in Breathitt County, where he was trimming a tree while on the job. The cause of electrocution and other details have not been released. We'll have those for you at a later date. What has been released tonight is the identity of a person killed in a Floyd County structure fire. Kathy Rena Marshall Kirkland passed away at the age of 50, according to coroner's reports. Kentucky State Police say that the fire happened late Saturday night in the Langley community. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Autopsy results are also pending as well. There was at least one other individual in the house who made it out to safety. But as of right now, the confirmed death of Kathy Rena Marshall Kirkland, age 50, of Floyd County. Just a couple of weeks ago, a double murder in Lawrence County. Stanley Webb Jr. was apprehended out of state in Columbus, Ohio by authorities, driving the victim stolen from the deceased relatives of his. He has now been extradited back to Eastern Kentucky, as I showed you late last week, and lodged in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center. And I'm sure most everyone is well aware of the fact that another double murder in Eastern Kentucky over the weekend, this one happening at a pizza restaurant in Prestonsburg, actually technically in Floyd County, where a man was jailed soon thereafter and made a court appearance early this morning, while funeral arrangements are pending for the two deceased. 49-year-old Ronnie Lee Hall made his first court appearance this morning since being taken into custody after the shooting took place in Hueysville. A report of shots fired came into the Kentucky State Police sometime around 7 o'clock on Friday evening. They arrived to find 3 people shot, a Mr. Daniel Harville, Mr. Rodney Whitaker, and a Ricky Goebel. 2 of the 3 men died. 1 is still hospitalized at this hour. As for the accused, 49-year-old Ronnie Lee Hall still remains lodged in the Floyd County Detention Center after pleading once again not guilty this morning. A preliminary hearing has been set for 1 week from tomorrow on April the 26th. The shooting did take place in Hueysville, and the 2 deceased were both from the Hueysville area. Police have confirmed that there was an altercation that took place prior to the shooting, but little other information is available. As for funeral services for the 2 victims, 30-year-old Daniel Ronnie Harville of Hueysville will be laid to rest at funeral services this Wednesday at the Nelson Frazier Funeral Home in Martin, with visitation this evening and tomorrow evening. While 33-year-old Rodney Keith Whitaker will be laid to rest tomorrow morning, with services beginning at 11 a.m. at the Hall Funeral Home. While Hall thus far faces the aforementioned 2 counts of murder. He also, police say, may face other potential charges in relation to the third victim, identified as Ricky Goebel, who was still hospitalized after being taken from the scene into an area hospital. Our top story is coming in just a few moments right now. An update and a few words from the West Liberty Police Department, hoping that someone seeing this video will recognize this person. Few details about the crime in and of itself. We'll track those down in a later time. However, I can tell you the West Liberty Police Department is asking for the public's help in identifying this thief, as they've referred to. We have a few pictures here taken from a surveillance video. This is the best with a front-on view of the victim's face, and this one is one that I enlarged just a bit to see a bit more detail. But they are currently investigating a theft, and this so far is their best lead. These photographs were submitted to the West Liberty Police Department after surveillance video from the Morgan County area. And that's all that I have as far as the theft is concerned at this hour, but they're hoping that someone may recognize him or something about him in these photographs, as well as the tattoos that can be seen. It appears he has one on his left forearm, one in the back of his neck, maybe some other possible identifying characteristics. The Morgan County Sheriff's Department can be reached at 743-3613, while the West Liberty Police Department's number is 743-4388. The West Liberty Police Department also has a Facebook page that they monitor and use quite often in regards to using all forms of social media to try to solve cases and get information such as this, and you can leave that information there as well. I'll be right back. One of our top headlines, some good news right after this. Hey everybody, this pretty girl is S, and through no fault of her own, she's been at the shelter since September the 8th. And we see this all too often. Sometimes the black cats get looked over, but S loves to play. She loves people. She's fully vetted and ready to go to her forever home, and she's fully sponsored, which means someone has already paid her adoption fee. And this sweet guy is Benny. Benny is 3. Benny is well behaved. Benny is housebroke, and he likes cats and other dogs. That makes Benny perfect. And he's a sweetheart that is ready to get out of the shelter and into a home with a loving family. So come by and check out our Pets of the Week, and be sure to be a part of the Bow Wow Meow Barbecue this Saturday at the Paintsville Country Club. It's the Johnson County Animal Shelter's biggest fundraiser of the year, with an awesome barbecue dinner and entertainment. Special guest Jason Goebel, the 2014 Country Music Highway Road to Fame winner, and Adrian's Mondo Magic will be there performing as well, and you supporting Whiskers or Wags at the Bow Wow Meow Barbecue event Saturday 7 to 11 that evening at the Paintsville Country Club. See you there. A big day for McGoffin County man who's, tell you what, a dream that's been in the works for years. He first told me, as well as you watching about it back this past November. Michael Holbrook of McGoffin County has trekked his way all the way to and through start to finish the Boston Marathon. He did so in the 120th running today.
I running when I was 49 and I'm 61 now. I tried 4 or 5 years to qualify and finally got in.
Into the 120th running of the Boston Marathon. That's not necessarily a news flash. That was a portion of an interview that I did with Michael Holbrook back after completing a much more modest Run Rudolph 5K before the holidays here in McGoffin County. But it was then that we learned of his accomplishment and of his dreams about to come true. And today they have. The 120th running of the Boston Marathon, in which Michael joined about 30,000 other runners as nearly 1 million people stood along the route from Hopkinton to the John Hancock Tower in downtown Boston to watch them along their way.
This is something I've always tried to do to get into Boston. There's very low percentage of people get in it. And you've got to qualify, like I said, at another race to even get in. Then they got to accept you. And they accept me back in September. One time a year they accept you, and that's what it was.
The 120th, as I said, running of the race, of course, the 3rd anniversary of the bombing that's forever scarred the world's most prestigious foot race, and actually the 50th anniversary of the first woman to finish the race. And through the Boston Athletics Association's website, you could watch the live stream, as did I. You could also track your athlete live and see their progress and time. Michael finished the first 5K leg of the race in 30 minutes and 7 seconds. That was at 11:26 this morning. Yep. And by the miracle of the internet, we could track him all day long, as I pretty much did. He finished the 20K mark at 2:21 in the afternoon. That fourth 5K he ran in 41:18. He was halfway through the Boston Marathon at 1:26 this afternoon, and at 3:38 he crossed made it past the 35K mark. And he really doesn't look any worse for the wear sitting here after completion. He crossed the 40K mark at 4:25 this afternoon. That was at 5 hours and 29 minutes. And the finish line, he crossed that at, looks like about 4:47 with an official time of 5 hours, 51 minutes, and 44 seconds. Man, so proud of you, Michael. So looking forward to getting an interview with you to find out just exactly how much fun indeed he had. And we'll have that for you, I can promise, in the coming days. I'll be right back with our other headlines in just a second. For high-speed internet starting at 15 meg for all of your gaming, movie, home, and business solutions, or to watch TV, including your favorite local channels without a contract, with hundreds of channels and digital and HD quality, and to stay connected 24/7 with friends and family, a direct line to 911, or to give your business the link it needs, choose telephone service you know is always there. Just click on their link on this site to find out how affordable the latest technology in communications can be. Foothills Communications. Your McGoffin County Farm Bureau sponsored community calendar this Monday starts off with a belated birthday wish, Austin. Austin David called it in Friday and I missed it. Your birthday was Saturday, so it's now a couple of days belated, but a very happy birthday wish nonetheless to Austin Howard from David and a whole lot of family and friends. Happy 20th in a couple of days, Austin. Happy birthday to you. Few reminders on our community calendar. Don't forget about Revival tonight, tomorrow night, and Wednesday night at the Burning Fork Community Church. Charles Glover will be speaking. Pastor Doug Dunn, my apologies, Doug, and everyone invites you to join them at the Burning Fork Community Church right there by the BP on the Parkway for Revival the next 2 nights after tonight. And Revival started yesterday, continues nightly at 7 at the Bradley Free Will Baptist. It's also 7 o'clock nightly at Burning Fork Community, But nightly at 7 at Bradley Free Will Baptist with James Kelly Cottle. That is Revival. That is ongoing this week nightly at 7. This is your invitation. And here's your invitation to attend the garden workshops at the McGoffin County Extension Service this Thursday and Friday. Thursday at noon, they'll talk about raised bed gardens, how to make them, have a hands-on demonstration. And on Friday at noon, they'll tell you how to get the most out of your small gardens. It's a win-win. Call the McGoffin County Extension Service, 349-3216, if you've got any questions. And remember, it's not until the 14th. Not that that's that far away now, but nevertheless, the second annual fishing tournament hosted by the Sayersville Volunteer Fire Department is coming up on the 14th. A guaranteed payout of $1,000 and a lot of other big cash prizes. It's 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Paintsville Lake on that afternoon. Call 349, that morning and afternoon. Call 349-3256 if you have any questions. And if you have a calendar announcement, birthday, anniversary, or otherwise, call me, tell me, and I'll tell everyone else about it. And you can get them to us any way you like. Turning to funeral service announcements brought to you by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Services were held yesterday in honor of 96-year-old Henry McDaniel of Jackson, formerly of McGoffin County. Preceded in death by his wife, Mary Allen Daniels, and son, Greg. He is survived by sons Alan, Irvin, Ronald, Roger, daughter Annetta Hale, son Harold McDaniel, daughter Joyce McDaniel, and daughter Janice Allen. Services once again held yesterday in his honor. 85-year-old Levna Miller May Howard of Sayersville passed away this past Friday. Preceded in death by her husbands Henry Jack May and Okie Howard. She survived by daughters Glenda Sue Hall and Loretta Lynn Howard. Visitation continues this evening in her honor. Services start tomorrow afternoon at 1, all from the McGoffin County Funeral Home, with burial afterward at the Earl May Cemetery. And lastly, an announcement tonight in loving memory of Naomi Johnson. Sadly missed by her son David and a host of family and friends. 20 years. I spoke with our state representative for the 92nd District over the course of the weekend, and that, of course, John Short, who filled me in on a conversation between he and Governor Matt Bevin, as well as recent happenings in our state's legislature as they pertain to the budget, which was passed after, of course, much delay and much hard work on both sides of the aisle, but also the Veterans Health Care Facility coming to Eastern Kentucky and Magoffin County and where it stands at this hour.
We put $1.2 billion for the teachers' retirement over top of what we would always put in anyways. We're trying to get caught up on it.
And speaking of coal severance funds, Short says he was happy with the increase in those funds going back to coal-producing counties, but that they still had their eyes set on a goal of 100%.
We went from, we're working towards getting it 100% come back to coal counties, but right now we're getting that right at 60%. We're going to be getting right at 60. It was 50, we're getting it up to 60 and working towards putting it all back to coal counties.
But our main topic of discussion for this interview would be centered around the subject of trying to get a veterans health care facility in Eastern Kentucky and in Magoffin County. I've been following now for months the efforts of local individuals and those on the state level as well to see that become a reality. However, happenings in our state's legislature and a discussion with the governor paints a picture that indeed that facility may go to Western Kentucky.
Well, about a month ago, they put an amendment onto a bill that would put the veteran nursing home in Bowling Green, and we had to get help from the Senate to get it killed, and then Friday about 3:30, the governor's office called me, wanted me to come talk to him, and he tried to get my support to put it in Bowling Green, and I told him there's no way I'd support that. So about 11 o'clock at night, the Senate passed a bill out on House Bill 172 to put the veteran nursing home in Bowling Green anyways, and thanks to Rocky Atkins and Greg Stumbo working with me, we got that killed, and so right now it's up to Hal Rogers if we got a chance, in my opinion, to get it in Magoffin County now. This gives us 2 more years as an option, because it's going to cost over $10 million what the state has to put up as their part for a veteran nursing home, and it has to be during budget year. So the governor told me he could do it with an executive order, but I don't think he can because it's a federal nursing home and it's not a state. He also told me that he could work around them. 137 beds all there are left in the state of Kentucky that could be built. He said he could work around the numbers. I don't say he can work around them numbers because that is what the federal government allotted us, and 137 beds is all that's left.
So unless the governor does intervene, as he told Short that he could and or would, Short says right now the best option we have is for everyone with any interest in seeing such a facility come to Magoffin County and or Eastern Kentucky to contact Congressman Hal Rogers and express your desire and interest in seeing that happen. He believes that Rogers right now, as you heard, is the best hope that we have.
He's our biggest hope because, like I say, I've got it killed for right now, but we need the federal government's help. The state will have to put up so much of a match, but without Hal Rogers' help, I just don't. It's going to be real hard for us to get it into Magoffin County. He really needs to step up for us right now. He's always been good to step up for Eastern Kentucky. Bowling Green's unemployment rate is 3%. Ours is probably close to 20%. There's more veterans per capita in Eastern Kentucky than anywhere in the United States. To me, it seems like we would be the ones that deserve this because Bowling Green already has 2 veteran nursing homes real close to their city. Like I say, everybody needs to get up Hal Rogers and get him involved in this. Letcher County's getting a new federal prison. We need a new veterans nursing home in Magoffin County.
Short also forwarded Rogers' contact number at 202-225-4601. I meant to have that on the screen. I will put that on there at a later time on the calendar or elsewhere where you can find it easily and access, because it does make a difference. You pick up that phone and you call and you do it in large numbers, and it will make a difference. It has before, and hopefully it could again. With that said, here's some numbers to look at. High pressure is going to stay in control into the 80s we were today, and again will be so tomorrow. 42 is where I expect to fall tonight under clear skies with a very calm wind. Just a nice work week ahead for most all parts. Tomorrow, 82 and 47. Still high pressure, like I said, still well in charge. Mostly sunny. There are some clouds that will increase tomorrow night, but not a big deal. Wednesday, we still have partly sunny skies. You can see a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms make its way in here in the afternoon after 3 o'clock or so Wednesday, and a slight chance will continue into your Wednesday night. Now, that's out and ahead of what could be and will be a rainy day to some degree on your Thursday, but still 79, 56, partly sunny midweek with that slight chance of showers turning into a pretty good chance on your Thursday, and you'll see what this front does with temperatures. 72, cloudy on your Thursday, 60% chance of some showers and storms across the board. And then Friday, some cooler air left behind. Right now, Friday, I think we'll have a chance of showers and thunderstorms to the tune of 50% as well, and maybe even a 20% lingering into Friday evening. Mostly cloudy skies and definitely cooler air. Saturday, 70 and 44. Sunday, mid-70s and sunny again. Can you stand it? Once again, the Tigersville City Council meets this evening, and we'll have that and other headlines we're already working on throughout the week. But for now, we'll see you tomorrow evening after what I hope is a wonderful night. Thanks for watching.